A little video about how to make a rendered picture of your logo once it's complete. Righto, so here's the first little tip. I'm going to try and be as quick as possible, but be very explicit with instructions. So here's the first tip. If your logo is like zoomed out, looks weird, is off to the side, you've got your view cube up here, click the house symbol, and it takes it back and it puts it in the center. Okay? So this is design. This is our design menu. This is how you make your logo. What you want to do is go from design to render. And you sort of notice straight away it looks a lot cooler. That's because it's got lighting effects. All the materials and things are having different operations done to them to make them look more different from the design. The reason we go from design to render and it doesn't look the same is because render takes a lot of processing power. Right, so when you're in the rendering area, the rendering workspace, what you want to do is get your view cube and click and drag, and what you want is to just get a really good angle for your logo. So you want to make sure there's plenty of light. There's plenty of light, the logo's in the correct position, and it looks dramatic and cool, yeah? So I put it in the right position, there's plenty of light, I'm going to zoom in. I zoom into about this much, okay? If it's cut off, that's okay. Okay, I've zoomed in, it looks all good. The next thing we need to do is get rid of the shadows, because the shadows will impact your poster. You don't want shadows on the poster. So I'm going to go to Setup, Scene Settings, and unclick Ground Plane. Okay, I might do that again, just quickly. Setup, Scene Settings, unclick Ground Plane, and then click Close. All right, and all that does is removes the shadow, because we don't want the shadow affecting our picture. Righto. Logo's in the correct position. It looks dramatic, the lighting is good. I've got to save, just press Command S or Control S, and I go, the little symbol for render is a teapot, because back in the very first, when 3D animation and 3D modeling was a thing, people used to make teapots just as a little example of rendering, so that's why there's a teapot. So you go from render to render. Okay, in our area here, you've got an option to render with Cloud Renderer or Local Renderer. Cloud Renderer is good if you've got a great network connection, but it's probably better to use Local Renderer. And when you click on Local Renderer, it's got an option to select a transparent background. That will be helpful. Transparent background. Click Transparent Background. Now you select the amount of pixels you want your picture to be rendered at. I want it to be 1000 by 1000 minimum. You can do it higher than that if you've got a good computer, but yeah, okay, 1000 by 1000, click render. Okay, while that's rendering, so down in this little area here, this render gallery, it's rendering. Some people's render gallery looks like this. They have a render gallery that's a little strip. They haven't maximized it. So if your little render gallery is in a different position, just make sure you click the minimize, maximize window to see what you've got. Okay, that's a rendered picture. I click on it, I download, I want to save it as, and it's very important that you save it in the correct way. I'm going to call it final name, Mr. Doherty Final. And at the end of it, I need to put a .png. Okay? For some reason, it doesn't export with the correct file format. So when you export, make sure if you rename it, there's a PNG at the end. Okay? And click Save. All right? So I'll see, where did I save that to? Oh, here we go. And here's my logo. There we go. Pretty close to the original. Lighting looks really cool. No background. It looks grey, but trust me, the background's transparent And I can use this for my next part of the project, which is to create a poster. Okay, so hopefully that shows you how to make a render. What I might do is just I'll quickly do another render, put my logo in a different position. Okay, and just show you how to do it again. Setup, scene settings, make sure this is unclicked. Ground plane unclicked. Close. Command S to save, or Control S. Render, render. First thing you want to do, turn off Cloud Renderer. Go to Local Renderer. Make sure you select Transparent Background. Tick a transparent background. Set your dimensions as 1000 by 1000. Click Render. Okay, and you see the second render is popping up down here. I don't know why I've got two render galleries. That's interesting. I'll close that one actually. Okay, rendering gallery. It's processing. Once the green bar disappears, it's done. Click on my picture. Download. Okay, whatever you name it as. Very important, there's a .png at the end. Save. Okay, close this. And there's my second picture. Okay, that's how you make a render with cool lighting, with cool materials, and you make your superhero logo look really good. Okay, hopefully that helps. That's how to make a render. Save it in a safe spot because we'll be using it for the next part of the project.